Hey, and welcome to Meat Assist. In this video, I'll walk you through the basics of getting the app set up and how to start using it to break down your carcasses. Once you've got this set up, you'll be ready to use Meat Assist as part of your normal pricing routine. Step 1. Create a model. First up, you need to create a model. Just give it a name that makes sense for what you're costing. For example, full lamb, side of beef, then add a short description. This could be something like standard breakdown, short trunk, or rump and loin. Whatever helps you recognize it later. Next, pick the species, then the category for that species. After that, enter the total weight of the carcass or section you're working with and the purchase price per kilo. Once that's all in, save the model. Step 2. Add the primals. Scroll down to the Add Primal section. Select the model you just created from the drop-down. Now you can start adding everything that comes off that carcass. Start with the name of the product, then a short description. For example, you might have 90 CL lean trimmings, which you sell as diced meat. Then enter the weight and the selling price per kilo. Hit save, then click Add Primal again, and keep going. Repeat this until you've added everything from the carcass. The key thing here is making sure the total weight of all the primals matches the original section weight. Step 3. Set up the expense calculator. Next up is the expense calculator. This is where you add in your business overheads from your profit and loss. You can just enter one total if you want, but it's usually better to break it down. Things like wages, rent, electricity, or insurance. Breaking it up like this makes it way easier to update later. So if rent or wages change, you just tweak that one line instead of redoing everything. Now you will need to enter the total amount of meat you purchase for a given period. Once that's in, Meat Assist works out your operating expenses per kilo and carries it over to the pricing page automatically. Step 4. Open the pricing page. This is where everything comes together. This is the page you'll use day to day. Start by picking the model you want to look at. Then set your markup above break even. There is no right number here. I usually start somewhere around 60 to 70% depending on the product and species and adjust from there. Now enter how much you expect to buy. For example, 450 kilos of lamb per week. Your operating costs per kilo will already be there from the expense calculator. Now enter your current purchase price per kilo. Once that's all in, hit calculate. Your pricing table will show up underneath. Understanding your pricing table. At first, the actual primal charge column will be empty. The suggested primal charge column will already be filled in. These suggested prices are based on your purchase price, the primal weights, your pricing structure, your overheads, and your markup. They're not rules, just a guide to show you what each item needs to be priced at to hit your target. Entering your actual selling prices. Now comes the real world part. In the actual primal charge column, you enter what you would actually charge in your shop. For example, if Meat Assist suggests $2.82 a kilo for bones, you're probably not going to use that exact number. You might go with $2.99, $2.95, or $2.55, or whatever makes sense for your customers. This is where your experience comes in. Go through each primal and enter realistic prices. As you do, Meat Assist will update the expected return automatically. Understanding the results. Under the table, you'll see a breakdown of everything. It shows total sale value, total cost of the product, gross profit, operating expenses, and net profit. So for example, if your sales come to $9,764 and your product cost is $5,850, your gross profit is $3,914. Then it subtracts your operating costs. If you end up With $1,223 net profit, that's about 12.5% of sales. So you can clearly see what the carcass is actually making you after everything is accounted for. And that's the basics of getting started with Meat Assist. Once your models, primals and expenses are set up, you can jump into the pricing page anytime, compare your real prices against the suggested ones, and see what each carcass is actually doing for your bottom line. Thanks for watching.